Yes, it is Death in Texas.
Oh, wow.
Ivan Rodriguez against Cristobal Abril on Grixis Delva. Ivan squeezing it at 4-1-1. Cristobal on 5-1-1. So I guess he must have had a loss early on, then had to play out. Got there.
Damn, this is one of the most classic legacy matchups. Like Death and Taxes versus Delver. Almost doesn't matter what type of Delver. Can be blue, red, Grixis, Teamer, Jeskai, Buck. But this is really cool magic. I like this kind of magic a lot. You know, it's like the tempo Force of Will Lightning Bolt deck versus like the Thalia Stoneforge Mystic Mother of Runes deck. Don't know if I can spot a Yorion.
Yeah, that was I was wondering about, right? No Yorion.
No Yorion. Oh wow.
I mean, I don't see any.
Yeah. Is this like straight up like 60 card Death and Taxes?
Is this like old school Death in Texas and also like no black splash? Because I mean, a lot of people have splash black for like Bowmasters and stuff, but I don't see. I mean, right now we don't see any black splash. But okay, let's see. Flagstones of Joker. You know what? There might actually be what's a name called? It's been so long. Machera of Krondor.
Oh, Mangara of Krondor.
Mangara of Krondor. That's the name. Yeah. Maybe. Who knows? Okay, so main phase. No, actually, yeah, that is a main phase brainstorm over there. I mean, the thing is, Cristobal might not know what Ivan is playing, so there's a reasonable expectation that Ivan might actually be playing like Delva, and if there's a world where he would get his brainstorm dates or something, yeah, okay, I see what you're doing there. Of course, he would have probably preferred to run out his Psychic Frog there, right? But he might have just found that one. Oh, never mind. So now I got it. Okay, so we were still doing it in response to the Wasteland. Now all of this makes a lot more sense. So we play a Polluted Delta, we pass. And there's the island. Okay, here we go.
How about an Ether Vial?
Always a great card, especially if your opponent didn't do anything on the first turn. So now I guess Cristobal's like game plan at this point is run out the frog, protect the frog by forcing with the pitching the other frog, and hope it reclaims card advantage soon enough. We're going after the wild.
This is a tough one. Like the only blue card is Psychic Frog. So, and you really don't want to pitch the card to Force of Will. However, if you let the wild resolve, then there's not a lot of spells you can force after that, right? Like, I guess you can maybe get Assault of Plowshares.
Yeah. I think you have two frogs, right? So you can pitch one of them to it, but...
Oh, I get. Okay, I guess that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
The problem, though, is, like, if you let the... Like, the frog is really good, but the problem is if you let the wild resolve, maybe the frog even connects once or twice. And, you also have the bolt to go after, let's say... Stoneforge Mystic or something, but I don't think the frog will close out the game before the wild puts something into play that really matters. And if that thing like blocks the frog, takes out the frog, whatever, what's it called? Sky thingy, the 3-mana thing that takes.
Oh yeah, the Skyclave.
Skyclave, yeah, exactly. There are so many things that can go wrong if you let that wild resolve. So I see why we're fighting over it. It just doesn't feel right. And so does Cristobal. So Cristobal actually lets the wild resolve. Initially, it looked like he was going to fight over it, but then decided against it and just runs out the frog. Okay, cool.
Okay, so we pick up a Recruiter of the Guard.
Flagstones.
Yeah, Ivan might probably slow roll this a little bit. There's no... Like, he needs to take care of the Psychic Frog. But tries to play around days as much as possible. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's an upkeep, so it's a Plowshares. I mean, you can either force this, or you just let this happen and play your second frog.
Yeah, I think just because the wild is ticking up, you want to do it right away, and this way you also you can attack this turn. And if they put something in for the wild, there's probably nothing except for Isamaru that they put in, and even then it's not great. Yeah, I like how Cristobal has played this. Drawing the extra card, probably having the removal spell available for whatever Ivan does on the next turn, and then I guess the idea is to snowball, right? You find either another removal spell or something. You gotta find something there, because the frog alone is not gonna do it.
Here's a pawn there.
I don't want any of those cards, honestly.
Huh.
But the problem is, like, there's still 3 spells, right? So I don't know if a shuffle is going to give you 3 better spells on average. Okay, second Psychic Frog. Now we're slowly starting to be talking. How do you think the rest of this is gonna go? So Ivan has a Stoneforge next turn that he might cast, or rather, like, put into play of the while, of course.
Yeah, I like Cristobal's position here. Like, he has a lightning bolt for the first blocker. And Ivan probably still trying to play around either around days if possible, but you know, we're at a point where it gets a little tricky, right? Like,
Is it Bowmasters, by the way? No, it's not.
oh,
Is that the new card that, like, takes out one of your opponent's lands?
I think so.
I think we talked about that one on the podcast, but don't, like, make me say the name.
Yeah.
We have Kibler Google. I think these days it's called Kibler AI, which means, like, chat is immediately gonna tell us what exactly that thingy is. But I remember it, right? It takes out one of your opponent's non-basic lands.
Has like a ghost quarter effect, I think, attached to it.
Here come the frogs. Da, 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 da. Draw 2 cards that are sweet. Draw another removal spell and have Murktide or something. Okay, this is like where I feel like the snowballing is slowly starting up. Yeah, we find the Murktide. Honestly, I don't hate the Wasteland there. It also makes it so that the Recruit of the Guard next turn. Okay, I guess you can Wile it in, but you can then not hardcast a 3-drop. Wait, what are we doing for 2 mana here at instant speed?
Oh, nice. Okay. That is, oh gosh, I forgot the name of this card. It's like this new legendary commander card. 2-mana 2/2 flash. When on attack you can blink something, and if you blink one of your things, then it gets a +1/+1 counter.
When it comes back?
It does come back at the end of turn.
Yeah.
The name escaped me, unfortunately.
It looks like a dog.
It is indeed a dog. Yeah.
Doggy has been confirmed.
Doggo.
Doge. I know why I hate Death in Texas these days. Dude, way too many promos. They might as well be playing, I don't know, Monopoly Space Edition or something. Okay, Ivan searching his library for what's it gonna be? Probably it's kind of funny, right? You have all these, like, random critters that can block frog, but they also don't really want to block frog. And I mean, Cistobal is also going to make it so that it's going to be really tough to find good blocks of those bolts. But slowly but surely, I'm feeling more comfortable on the Death in Texas side of things. Like, we are very proactively going to take out that Murktide there. And now I wonder whether Cistobal is trying to set a trap. But actually, Cistobal doesn't have any red mana. Does he have a fetch land or something?
I don't think so. He used the Wasteland. I think there's like a Murktide Regent, a Lightning Bolt he can't use, and some other spell.
White Orchid Phantom and Philia Exuberant Shepherd.
Oh yeah, Philia.
We need shorter names for these.
Yeah.
Nobody says Thalia, Guardian of Traven. It's just Thalia. Or Big T or something. I don't know. Oh, there's a Dismember as well. Okay, this is removal galore, but at least until we find a red source, it's only going to be Dismember. Oh, and we also have a Dragon Rage Channeler. I mean, at the very least, they're going to be frog food, but I mean, that's not exactly what you want to be doing here. You have much better applications for these cards. So, which kind of block do you want to make here? Just like nothing? Okay.
Interesting.
Cistobal is super happy about this, I believe. Oh, but still no extra red source. I think we picked up a Daze and another Dragon Rage Channeler. Honestly, except for the Daze and the Dismember, all of these cards don't do anything. At least right now.
Yeah, like you see like a value game on both sides, right? Like Philia, when it attacks, it can blink the Recruit of the Guard. You know, that's technically, I mean, that's a Demonic Tutor, a free Demonic Tutor on attack. It's kind of similar to the Psychic Frog attack. So we have like a value game on both sides. except that Ivan has like much more mana because of the Ether Vial.
Oh, we also picked up Paulo Vitor Damo da Rosa. Cool. It's gonna be interesting. Like once Ivan sees Cristobal's hand, he's gonna be a lot less scared of a lot of things. It's kind of funny, right? Those frogs. Just the threat of them growing made them connect twice by now. Like Cristobal already drew 4 extra cards on those. On one hand, you must love life when you do that. On the other hand, like, what is life without money? Cristobal is saying.
Okay, how about a Stoneforge Mystic?
That's the one thing that wouldn't work here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, now you reset Cristobal to basically no lands in play at all. So you can work with basically full information, and at least the Philia is gonna attack. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, at the very least, you also want to attack with this guy. Okay. What is Recruiter of the Guard gonna get? Like another Solitude?
Oh, Solitude is a good one. There's still the Ether Vial on 3, so you could get like a Flicker Wisp maybe.
Oh,
Oh,
this one sounds
Skycliffe
pretty,
Apparition
yeah.
is a really good one.
Yeah.
Because you can't counter it.
I think at this point the game is gone. Like this is just like too far away.
This is from another Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
First of all, yeah, it packs it up. Hey man, that's kind of insane. Like the start was so good with the 2 frogs. You know, drew a bunch of cards. The mana didn't work out, and the Orchid Phantom taking the Volcanic Island, I think, completely changed the.
That was the MVP of this game, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Interestingly though, Cristobal had so many red spells. If he had kept that island, he would have only been able to cast 2 of them.
Oh yeah.
So and he was sitting like on 4 of them, kinda. So yeah, he could have probably bought a lot more time, but we will see. Okay, so first game in the books. I think this is the beginning of the first game once over. I think we're gonna load up the second game in a moment here. Generally speaking, so we see that Death and Taxes is actually like usually favored in the long run, right? I think against most Grixis players and stuff, I think people don't hate playing Death and Taxes. But after sideboarding, what does Grixis ever do these days? Like, I'm not even sure, because in the past they had some like mass removal or even like tricky stuff, like trying to get rid of triggered abilities and stuff, but I don't think that's what we're doing these days. Grixis ever these days, you're probably fighting the big fights, right? But maybe something against Eldrazi. I don't know. To me, Death and Taxes is not a card that's on my radar where I feel like, oh, I gotta be prepared for that.
Yeah, don't think so. I don't know. I think that like Meltdown might be something, you know, you might see off post sideboard to deal with Ether Vial. If there's additional removal, then that's very welcome too. I think I saw like a Submerge. I mean, that's unfortunately not coming in here in this matchup. But maybe there's not a lot of change in actually in both decks.
I can see that, yeah. On Ivan's side, we see turn 1 while available. Cristobal just going land go, which already makes me feel like it's going to be a turn 2 frog, and it is. Well, actually, it is not. That might be. I think he was on a mulligan, even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he's on a mulligan to 6. So now he's going to run out that brainstorm, trying to find more lands, I would guess. Okay. He got what he wished for. 2 frogs, lands. Like, all of this is good. Like, you even if you want to have a second frog to pitch, what I find the most challenging, difficult things with Grixis Delver against Death and Taxes is exactly these kinds of decisions. Do you want to proactively play your game plan where you run out the frog and then you keep the force plus the other frog for protection? Probably, like, I guess you shuffle away like at least one of the fetch lands and then one of the removal spells. And I'm very often like, oh dude, I don't care about whatever you play, but then they play their Stoneforge Mystic and I'm like, I wish I had something. I had something to get rid of their Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah. By the way, is this the first game all over again? Was the first game so good we want to watch it back?
I mean, I could watch this like non-stop.
I mean, in fact, you are doing that right now. So anybody, okay, until we load the second game, let's actually look at this from the perspective of Cristobal again. Is there any point where he could have fetched differently or done something differently to get better mana? Like, knowing how this game ended, I actually want to look at it this way. Yeah, this is game 1 over again. Hipster. Beister, actually, that is. Okay. Okay, that's the first fetch land. That's probably, yeah, I mean, of course, that's going to be good. Wait, interesting. It gets another volcanic island. Okay. I remember him picking up an underground. Oh, that's the volcanic island that gets killed by the white orchid phantom or something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so he had like these fetch lands, but Ivan went after the volcanic island twice. And I guess he just picks up another fetch land and fetches underground sea. Yeah, he already has another fetch land in hand, and that goes for underground sea, and then he gets punished really hard, of course. Then again, had he gone for a second, or rather the third, volcanic island, Ivan would probably force the wastelanded, or rather phantom, the underground sea. Yeah. There's a lot of like if, then, that's. There's a German saying, hätte Fahrradkette, which is like, how does it go in English? Like, if my grandma had wheels, she would be a bike. No, that's. I think that's a different one. Okay. Watching this all over again. Okay, we're sending a scout out to see whether we can actually find the second game running around. We're still trying to unlock the second game. It's somewhere in the archives. All of this is like getting played almost right now. We are almost caught up fully because we're doing these delayed backup streams, so there's almost no breaks for you guys, no downtime. Yeah, and I was told we're about to go live for the second game, so that's gonna be a thing. Okay. Oh, we're gonna go live to us. Here we go. Yeah, I just lost Kai. Kai, come back. Kai just went out for a burger. We had AI replace Kai for the last half an hour.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, you missed one of the best games. You actually watched it twice. I hope you enjoyed it.
It was a good one, though. Yeah. Welcome back, everyone.
So, yeah, in the meantime, we're going to quickly load up game 2 of the quarterfinals here. Grixis against Death in Texas. Do you think Death in Texas can go all the way?
Hope so. I think like the Death in Texas player must be really happy to play against Delver in the quarterfinals. I don't know exactly how Death in Texas is gonna do against the Mystic Forge combo. It might be a little tough. But yeah, let's see how it goes. But this is like one of my favorite pairings today. I think Delver versus Death in Texas. I love it. I think people love it. I can watch that like all day long. And
let's go for it.
A lot of dynamics going on both sides. So.
Okay, turn 1. That's a classic, right? You Mishas bobble yourself to see whether you got a good card on top to figure out whether you want to fetch land or play like a regular land from hand. And looks like we don't want the top card, so we go for the turn 1. Is that Delver? It's just Ponder. Yeah, okay. Let's see whether Cistobal is going to remember the trigger on Ivan's upkeep. Meanwhile, Ivan, is he going to have the turn 1 while? I don't see it right now. But there's always a world where you just top deck it, right?
Yeah, also, I think Death in Texas in general has like a wider range of hands they can keep in comparison to Delver. Like Delver needs to be somewhat aggressive, and Death in Texas can also go slow on them. They don't necessarily need the vial. They can have like a hand of like a couple of lands, maybe like a Swords to Plowshares or 2.
Ivan almost missed the draw.
Oh, wow.
And Ivan, Cistobal almost missed the draw. And Ivan looks like he actually might have ripped wide from the top.
Yeah, and this is tough. Okay, if you can daze a vial, then you probably do. Force of Will is really tricky. Like you probably end up forcing this Ether vial.
Yeah, the problem is like your hand looks really awkward. Like, what's your game plan now? If you force, you probably actually pitch Delver. Just because you need to get cards into the graveyard for Murktides, and you don't want to really pitch. Yeah, you pitch Delver, yeah. Okay, you don't want to pitch the Ponder, I see that.
Absolutely.
So basically you set up for a turn 3 big Murktide, and then you just hope that it doesn't go wrong. This is like, if you... Oh, and Force of Will, of course, is a great pickup. Okay. So now if you can find like another blue spell on the Ponder, you can just like protect it, because you have to expect, right, that Ivan has at least one spell that goes after the Murktide.
Oh, yeah.
Second Flames. So what happened is we were accidentally replaying the first game again, just because it was so good. We decided to run it twice. But now we are in the second game. So the first game was accidentally played twice, and now we are in the second game of the first match of the quarterfinals. Cistobal Abril on Grixis against Ivan Rodriguez on Death and Texas. And as we talked about, right, it's the turn 3 Murktide. And so far, Ivan hasn't done anything yet, except for the wall that got forced. So you would expect him to have something now. Path to Exile!
wow.
Hey!
That's an oldie too.
Haven't seen you in forever, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
getting forced like immediately.
Yeah, like the first game already showed us that there are no basic lands in Cristobal's deck. So this is basically a free Swords to Plowshares, basically. Even an upgraded Swords to Plowshares, actually.
And now, like, if you're Cristobal, you are so all in on Protect the Dragon. You want to find any kind of interaction, right?
Oh, yeah.
Anything, like, I don't know, days. What can you do? Anything that makes Ivan stumble. That was a very white card. Is that a proxy? We will see. He's going to draw it for the turn. Curious what that's going to be. Oh, Solitude.
Man, we got the answers.
Oh, the whole game plan
Really?
crumbles.
Yeah,
Oh.
we really got the answers.
Gonna take out one of
Okay.
your lands. Yeah, Ivan
Yeah.
really doesn't like volcanic islands, right?
Yeah.
Even pitching the Stone Forge, like, I don't care. I know you're all in on the dragon.
Oh yeah, and like this is probably the turning point in the game. You know, it looked so good for Delver the last turn, but
Yeah. The problem is, like, Delver is now behind on cards and on board, and that's not something where Delver ever wants to be, right? It's so hard for the deck to catch up without like any kind of card advantage or like virtual card advantage, which it also doesn't really have except for Murktide, but we're very far away from even casting that in the first place.
Right.
So at that point, like, you want mass removal and you want a Mystic Frog, and you want both of them like in half a turn or something, and that doesn't work. So unless Ivan really like.
Oh, check this out. This is like the real Stone Rain matchup here. Like another Phantom Orchid.
Chat is asking which art is that. I can't even tell you, but it's certainly not the kind of art that I would recognize. Is that like what's going on in there?
Oh, it's probably one of those like Richard Kane Ferguson arts, maybe.
Does he like really weird stuff?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. I mean, he has been around for more than 30 years. I think he did his first art piece in Legends. Yeah, very well known, well loved artist. His paintings are all over the place. As always, really chaotic.
Okay. There's another volcanic island. Sorry, sir.
I like that. You know, shutting off both, like all removal spells and all Dragon's Rage Channelers is much more valuable than shutting off one.
You know, the thing is, like, I just remembered, Ivan actually told me this. When he was a child, he was actually, like, in 2 volcanic disasters. He was like, yeah, ever since he doesn't work.
He's like a little traumatized, maybe.
Yeah, that's why he shuts down all the volcanoes on site. You know, there's this card, Magnetic Volcano in Legacy. In Magic, that's just like, he bought all of them and destroyed them.
Magnetic Mount? No.
Magnetic Mountain, yeah, that sounds a lot cleaner.
I don't even know how it's called.
Yeah, so we talked about how Cristobal needs a frog, and he found the frog. Unfortunately, frog is actually step 2 of the whole process. The first process is mass removal, which doesn't even work all that well now with Mother of Runes. Cristobal is fighting. He found the 3rd volcanic island, which is probably the last one in the entire deck. So if Ivan can take this one out, no more red spells for you, sir. Ivan is just chilling. Look at this.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I got this. Come at me. You got that frog? Yeah, block, activate Mother. It's fine.
Yeah, I think he can kind of lean back, you know, for a little bit. I guess he can go for attacks, but doesn't necessarily have to. Attacks for 2/2 as a 2/2.
Okay, Cristobal has some cards in the graveyard to work with, so he could send Frog to the air next turn and draw a card, but even then, that's not exactly exciting, right?
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so Cristobal takes the damage. And draws the Dragon's Rage Channeler.
Honestly, what he wants is just like Murktide at this point. If this is actually the graveyard that he's working with, he can make like a 4/4 Murktide. That's not too exciting.
Oh yeah, at least it's a flyer, you know. Like Mother of Runes is like completely gums up the board here. You can't really pass as a Ground Walker, but I think we have at least 3 types in the yard. We have an artifact, we have an instant land. So we need a little bit of help here, but it's a start. You know, you gotta start somewhere.
I mean, you probably want to run out the Dragon Rage Channeler, right, to start filling up the graveyard a little bit. It's going to be just so tough.
Absolutely.
Because with every turn that passes, there's another chance at Ivan just drawing another answer to a future Murktide. And we already know that he has an additional Solitude. I think I've seen that one in his hand. This is really Ivan's game to lose, I feel. Oh
wow, look at that.
Ghost Quarter, seriously? 60 cards? Yeah, sure. Let me Ghost Quarter. See, I told you about his experience of mountains and volcanics.
I think Ivan just really dislikes Delver.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Yeah, it's like mono land destruction. I wouldn't even be surprised if there was like an Avian Mind Sensor in the deck.
Dude, Armageddon. It's coming. Or isn't there like flash fires? No, this destroys all planes. That's probably the wrong one.
Yeah, that's the one Cistobal should play.
I think he still wins if he does. Oh man, I mean, we're growing this one. Okay, trade. Oh, okay. Oh, is this the one that everybody wants in Magic Online?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, it's a different one. It's the
Interesting. Yeah, the name escaped me, but he got the Phantom back, and oh man, that's the game. Yeah,
Formalware. I think it's called Formalware or something.
Mono land destruction.
Yeah, that's the one everybody wants in Magic Online. But yeah, Ivan takes it. 2 very convincing games for Death and Taxes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like we don't really see like 60 card Death and Taxes these days anymore. But
yeah,
Ivan made it work. Like so many of the new cards in there.
Totally. Also mono white, not a single like
Yeah.
you know, Mags of the Moon or Okish Bowmaster splash in black or red. That's really cool to see. Didn't see a single Thalia.
I was gonna say they must be in there.
Yeah. It's gotta be in there, but you know.
Is this the only card that Cistobal had to change? Meltdown. I can see. Yeah. Okay, taking out that one.